Welcome in, everyone, to Spiritual Roots Podcast with me, Misty, where we talk about life, the magical, mundane, and everything in between. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Happy Summer Solstice Eve, my friends. I'm so happy to get into this episode. Summer Solstice is one of my 3 favorite Sabbats. The next 2 are Samhain and the Winter Solstice. These are my 3 absolute favorites. I really get into these. And I can't wait to get into this episode. The summer solstice is a celebration of light, abundance, fertility, and the vibrant energy of life at its fullest expression. It's a time when the sun reaches its highest point in the sky and daylight stretches longer than on any other day of the year. For witches, pagans, and spiritual folk, like myself and you all, the summer solstice, often called midsummer or Litha, is much more than an astronomical event. It's a sacred turning point in the wheel of the year, a moment when the earth is overflowing with life, and the veil between humanity and the spirit of nature feels especially thin. You can feel it. Today, we'll explore the history of summer solstice, some ancient folklore, some deities connected to the sacred season, magical correspondences, flowers, colors, traditions from around the world, and ways you can celebrate this solar holiday in your own practice. So light a candle, my friends. Let's represent the sunshine, open a window to the warm air, let the bird song fill your space, and let's journey into the golden heart of summer. What is the summer solstice? Astronomically speaking, the summer solstice occurs when the Earth's tilt places the northern hemisphere closest to the sun. The word solstice comes from the Latin words sol, meaning sun, and sistere, meaning to stand still. Ancient people noticed that the sun appeared to pause in its journey across the sky before beginning its slow descent toward winter. Though summer has only begun, the summer solstice also marks the moment when daylight starts gradually decreasing. This creates one of the most fascinating spiritual lessons of the season. At the very height of light, darkness begins its return. At the moment of greatest abundance, the seeds of transformation have already been planted. Nature reminds us that nothing remains unchanged forever. Every peak contains the beginning of a new cycle. In modern pagan traditions, the summer solstice is often called Litha. Litha is one of the 8 Sabbats celebrated on the wheel of the year. It falls right between Beltane and Lughnasadh. While Beltane celebrates fertility and possibility, Litha celebrates fulfillment. The seeds planted in spring have become thriving gardens. Dreams have begun taking shape. Life is blooming everywhere, as you can all probably tell, and it smells absolutely amazing outside. The smell of summer is just something that is so magical. This is the season of confidence and creativity and joy and vitality. The sun is at its strongest, and so are we. We feel more alive when the world is alive, when Mother Earth is alive and blooming, and the birds are singing, feeding their babies, watching them in their natural habitat, just living and thriving and being so active, and that gives off so much energy. We as humans have celebrated the summer solstice for thousands of years. Ancient cultures carefully tracked the movement of the sun and built monuments aligned with its annual cycles, and these are found everywhere in the world, including right here in my state of New Hampshire. Some of you may remember I did an episode on America's Stonehenge in Salem, New Hampshire. Amazing place, and they too tomorrow will have an event happening for summer solstice. But one of the most famous examples is Stonehenge in England. Each year, thousands gather at Stonehenge to witness the sunrise, perfectly aligned with the monument's ancient stones. And archaeologists believe this alignment was intentional and deeply significant to those who built it thousands of years ago. Across Europe, people lit enormous bonfires on hilltops. I would love this so much. I would love to experience a European a summer solstice event, winter solstice event. I would just love to travel across the pond to experience this. And the fires represented the power of the sun and were believed to bring protection, prosperity, and fertility. In many regions, people jumped over the flames. This ritual was thought to bring luck, cleanse negativity, and ensure good fortune during the coming harvest season, which isn't too far behind. Some traditions involved rolling burning wheels down hillsides. That sounds fun, but also possibly very destructive and dangerous. But hey, live on the wild side, my friends. These wheels symbolize the sun's journey across the sky and the turning of the wheel of the year. And one of the most beloved pieces of solstice lore comes from modern pagan mythology. The story tells of two brothers, the Oak King and the Holly King. The Oak King rules the waxing year, so from winter solstice to summer solstice. He represents growth and expansion, fertility, and increasing light, while the Holly King rules the waning year, from summer solstice to winter solstice. He embodies wisdom, introspection, rest, and the return of darkness. At midsummer, the Oak King reaches the height of his power, yet this is the moment when the Holly King rises and gently begins reclaiming the year. Neither king is good nor evil. They are partners in an eternal dance. Together they teach us that growth and rest, light and shadow, are equally sacred. Midsummer has long been associated with fairies, spirits, and enchantment. In Celtic folklore, the summer solstice was believed to be a time when the other world drew especially near. Fairy hills became active, and sacred springs gained magical properties. Nature spirits wandered freely, and people left offerings of milk, honey, flowers, or bread to ensure goodwill from the fairy folk. Herbs gathered on Midsummer Eve were believed to possess extraordinary power, and many believed healing plants harvested at sunrise on the solstice contained the strongest medicine of the entire year. In parts of Europe, people hung protective herbs over doors and windows to keep away harmful spirits, and others slept with flowers beneath their pillows to receive prophetic dreams. The night before solstice was considered one of the most magical nights of the year, and you can really feel it here on this Midsummer Night's Eve. Many gods and goddesses are associated with the sun, fertility and abundance, and midsummer energy, so let's just explore a few. Apollo. Apollo is one of the most recognizable solar deities, associated with sunlight, healing, poetry, music, and prophecy. Apollo embodies illumination of both physical and spiritual forms. And when I think of Apollo, I think of like a lazy day in the sunshine by a river somewhere, just romanticizing your life. Doesn't that sound amazing? Working with Apollo during the solstice can support creativity, confidence, truth, and personal growth. And Ra. Ra was the great solar deity of ancient Egypt. Each day he sailed across the sky in his celestial boat. At night he journeyed through the underworld before rising again at dawn. Ra symbolizes endurance, divine power, renewal, and the life-giving force of sunlight. We have Suna, or Sol, often called Suna, is the Norse goddess of the sun. She drives a blazing chariot across the heavens while pursued by a great wolf. Suna reminds us of courage, resilience, perseverance despite challenges. Ani is one of the most beloved Irish goddesses associated with summer. She is linked to love, fertility, prosperity, and the brilliance of the sun, and bonfires were traditionally lit in her honor on midsummer. Some colors associated with the summer solstice. And my friends, if you work with colors, you could wear these on summer solstice. You could put these on your altar. You can incorporate them in some way. You could bake cakes, bake goods, and just add these colors in with food dyes if you want to. You could work these colors in any way. And colors carry a powerful magical symbolism. And for the summer solstice, consider adding these colors into your practice, like I had said before, whether that's through baking or cooking or wearing them as a colorful outfit. We have gold, which is the color of the sun itself, and it represents abundance, success, prosperity, divine energy, and illumination. Yellow is associated with joy and confidence and communication, optimism and personal power. Orange is connected to creativity, passion, courage, vitality, and enthusiasm. Green, of course, is the color of flourishing gardens, growth, abundance, and the living earth. White representing sunlight, purity, spiritual clarity, and blessing. Red, a color of life force, strength and passion and solar fire. And some flowers that are also associated with this beautiful time of the wheel, because flowers are among the most powerful symbols of midsummer. Sunflower, perhaps the most iconic solstice flower. Sunflowers literally turn toward the sun as they move throughout the day, and I just think that's fascinating. They symbolize joy, abundance, vitality, truth, and success. St. John's wort, one of the most famous midsummer herbs, traditionally gathered around the solstice and believed to offer protection, healing, and blessings. Chamomile, associated with the sun and prosperity. Chamomile brings peace, abundance, purification, and luck. Lavender. Lavender supports calm, spiritual awareness, protection, and dream work. Its soothing fragrance has made it a favorite in magical traditions for centuries. Rose, especially yellow, orange, and white roses, because roses symbolize love, beauty, passion, devotion, and the blossoming heart. And summer is just so full of passion, isn't it? There's love in the air, whether that's, birds feeding their babies or us tending our gardens. There's just so much love in the summer season. We have daisies, a symbol of innocence, joy, sunshine, and connection to nature spirits. Calendula, known as Mary's gold. Calendula is strongly associated with solar energy, protection, healing, and happiness. Some crystals associated with the summer solstice, we have sunstone, citrine, carnelian, amber, tiger's eye, clear quartz. In herbs, of course, we again have St. John's wort, chamomile, rosemary, lavender, mugwort, and thyme. And the element associated with summer solstice is fire. Fire represents transformation, action, inspiration, passion, and spiritual illumination. Some solstice ritual ideas. You don't need an elaborate ceremony to honor midsummer. Simple acts can be deeply meaningful. Sunrise gratitude ritual. You can wake up before dawn and watch the sun. Offer thanks for the blessings currently present in your life. Allow the first rays of sunlight to touch your face. Feel yourself receiving the energy of the sun. Here in the States, summer solstice falls on Father's Day this year, the 21st of June. So if life's going to be a little bit too busy, you can just do simple acts to incorporate your practice into a busy day of celebrating the dads or father figures in your life. You could create a solar altar decorated with sunflowers, gold candles, citrine, fresh herbs, summer fruits, and let your altar become a celebration of abundance. You can make a flower crown, my absolute favorite. Flower crowns have long been associated with midsummer festivities. As you weave the flowers, you can focus on your intentions for joy, creativity, and growth. And this also could be a fun activity for the kids. Celebrating dad, if you all just want to get outside and just make flower crowns. Perfect way to incorporate the summer solstice into a busy Father's Day event. You could do a solstice fire ceremony. Write down your fears, your limitations, or habits you wish to release. Safely burn the paper. Watch the smoke carry those burdens away. Then write what you wish to cultivate during the remainder of the year. And the spiritual lesson of the solstice, it's perhaps the greatest lesson we have with the summer solstice, is balance. We celebrate the light, but we also acknowledge the return of shadow. We honor our growth, but we remember the importance of rest as well. We rejoice in abundance, really soaking in what we've received, but we understand that every season eventually changes. The solstice teaches us that life is a cycle and nothing remains fixed. The wheel is always turning, my friends. Like the wheel of fortune in the tarot, nothing stays the same, cycles always end, and the wheel is always turning. Joy and sorrow, growth and stillness, light and darkness, each has its place. Each is sacred, and each helps shape who we become. So if you have some tarot cards, you could work with the Sun card. You could work with the Wheel of Fortune. Those are two beautiful cards that come to mind when I think of summer solstice. The wheel always turns, and that could be for any Sabbath. You could work with that card. End of a cycle, starting of new. What do you want to bring in? What are we letting go? What have we grown that has come to fruition? I just love the Wheel of the Year so much. I can't say it enough. It's just it's a beautiful way to walk your path and walk through life, knowing that things don't always stay the same. Change is always happening, and we can just appreciate the things in between. And I love that so much. But I do want to leave you all, my friends. I found this on Facebook from Wicca Teachings, who I follow. They're out of the UK, and I loved it, and I wanted to share it with you, and I found it this morning, and it's called Summer Solstice Eve. Tomorrow is Litha, the longest day and shortest night. We worship the sun and give thanks for the light. Replenish your spirit in the sun's glow. Rejoice in nature's rhythm and flow. We'll be granted with blessings and gifts. We are on the threshold as the earth shifts. The wheel has turned as we enter the dark half of the year. But this is a time of celebration and nothing to fear. After the long day, days will get shorter as we slowly head into the equinox quarter. Make the most of this summer as soon as it will fade. Where there was light, there will soon be shade. May your hearts and spirits be filled to overflowing. May your summer be magical and your joy ever growing. Blessed Litha, my friends, and blessed summer solstice. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of your summer. We have other Sabbaths to look forward to, and I hope you all just enjoy the sunshine and take care. Thanks for coming along for the ride, travelers. If you're enjoying the show, please share, like, or leave a review wherever you listen to your podcast. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. If you have ideas for the show or would like to say hello, you can email me at spiritualroutespodcast@gmail.com. Please keep sharing the show so we can keep finding our spiritual roots together.